Hi, Gretel Jane here. I just wanted to record this video and talk a little bit about rupture and repair in relationships. And goodness, I think my focus is going to be very much on family relationships and that parent-child relationship and the crucial importance of that, and goodness, how hard it can be sometimes. Um, and why it's hard, and how you can really deepen those relationships in the most beautiful way and sort of move beyond the conflicts that happen a lot, obviously, in when you've got kids who are in their preteen and teenage years, but also before that. And particularly when there is perhaps neurodivergence and or separation, divorce, other sort of relationship changes and or other big changes that are happening in your family life, and just how everyone responds to that. So yeah, I just want to sort of have a bit of a ramble about that in this video, and hopefully sort of start a conversation, share some of my thoughts, and share some things that you could perhaps think about if this is a thing for you. And it's kind of a thing for most parents, and particularly for parents who are doing it on their own. And yeah, as you know, I very much work with self-employed single mums. So, and solo mums as well, who are really doing it all on their own, and, don't have a lot of support from their ex or time to themselves. So, which is me. So, I honor and reach out to those of you who are doing that, because it's no mean feat and it is challenging in this day and age, particularly, and in this society that we live in. There's so much about productivity and living up to expectations for how we are all supposed to be and operate in the world, to be a part of it, to be accepted, to receive the benefits, all of that kind of thing. It's a really challenging world that we live in. And, we're bringing our young kids, and preparing our sort of older kids to transition into that world. And it's not easy. But in this video, I want to focus specifically on family relationships and that rupture that inevitably happens, and repair. Because, relationships are not all about um, keeping everything okay and rosy and beautiful all the time. Because if that's happening, then there's someone who's not speaking or living their truth. And if that's you, because it's a relationship pattern, you're trying to make everything okay for your kids, you're trying to smooth everything out, do everything for them, avoid conflicts at all costs, then this means that you're not expressing your authentic truth and what you need in the world. And that's not healthy for you. Um, it's something that we do, goodness, and often you do it in order to keep things safe, for things to be to be able to handle things, to be able to, I don't know, life to be easier somehow. Um, but ultimately, I just want to acknowledge that it's not um, an expression of your own inner truth in the world, which is ultimately healthy for you to express and to live. And, when you're not doing that, it's completely okay, but there are ways to slowly lean into this and experience more sort of authenticity and your own expression, authentic expression in the world. How you respond to something, feel about something might be very different to how someone else does. how your child does, for instance. And so when there's differences in opinions and feelings and responses, then there's going to be conflict and potentially rupture in the relationship. And having rupture and repair, actually, ruptures in relationships is a natural part of human relationships. Human relationships are just not smooth and perfect all the time. They're just not, and it's not supposed to be like that. But the rupture and repair process that I'm talking about today is something that allows us to express ourselves authentically, stay connected, and deepen the relationships that we have. And as I said, we're specifically focusing on family relationships and that parent-child relationship, that relationship you have with your child as their mother. And so, yeah, those ruptures can happen all the time, and they can really stay as ruptures and almost like open wounds that fester and fester and fester if we don't repair them. And yeah, as I said, that repair is not about you fixing it at all, or trying to fix it so that everything's okay. That's not actually a true repair. It's about, as I said, everyone being able to feel seen and heard, and being able to express their own truth and be who they are, and feel safe to be who they are and express themselves, and stay connected at the same time, which means that, even if you're telling someone or telling your child that what they've done makes you feel sad and disappointed, um, it's really important that they know and they feel that you're just expressing your truth, and that they are still okay as how they are, and they're still connected to you at the same time. And this is not always what happens because of all of the expectations and ways that we think we have to parent, and we have to give our kids tough love, and be harsh to be fair, and provide impose consequences for actions and things like that, which is essentially our children having to bend to our will and live up to our expectations and squash their own truth. And we don't want that. We don't want that for our children. So basically, as a parent, we can cause ruptures in relationships by losing our shit, by yelling at the kids. Like, we're frustrated, we're angry, there's so much happening sometimes, and you just lose it. Like, just do it, like, or whatever it might be. And that's okay. It's okay. I mean, gosh, we're told all the time how bad it is to be yelling at our kids. And yes, that's true. However, we need to acknowledge the deeper truth that's going on here too, that all parts of you are welcome here too, as well as all parts of your child. I hope that makes sense. So, if you do lose your shit, and, express that anger and frustration that you're feeling to your child in a way that causes a rupture, causes a major problem in the relationship, then apologizing is one of the most healing things that you can do for yourself and for them and for the relationship. And that's a part of that repair process. So the rupture happens, and that's okay. But it's about noticing that, and maybe what has triggered that as well. But it's okay, the ruptures happen, but apologizing afterwards and talking about how you felt and asking them about how they experienced that rupture too. And asking them to let you know how it felt for them. is really important. Saying, yeah, I'm sorry. Um, I was really angry. I was feeling really angry in that situation. And yeah, I'm really sorry. I'm guessing that might have been really scary for you. Let me know, what was it like for you? And then let them speak. Even if they don't, it's okay. They might go F off and run to their room and slam the door. Doesn't matter. It's okay. You've said that, and that is crucially important. And the more often you do that, and keep offering that, things might shift and change. It's something that happens over time. So I want to give you a few steps here, all of that said, that you can use to start to lean into that repairing a rupture with your kids, right? So the first thing is to notice your own response to your child and the situation, right? With curiosity and compassion, if you can, in that moment. It might be about recognizing that you're having a pretty intense reaction to this particular behavior or to your child in some way, whatever that might be. And, it might be sadness, disappointment, anger, burning rage. It could be anything. But just recognizing that and being able to take yourself out of the situation and process that within you without any judgment, to just process, allow that sensation, that feeling, that emotion to move through or shift in some way, so that you can then acknowledge the rupture, perhaps first to yourself and then to your child, and then let your child know that you were, what you were feeling, without blaming or judgment, without blaming them, without blaming yourself. This is what I was feeling. That's it. And then asking them what they were feeling and how they experienced your expression, or of that emotion, and then listen without judging or fixing, no matter what they say, and just acknowledging their response. That's it. So this is sort of a very basic, introductory way to start to approach, rupture and repair of in relationships, and starting to relate to yourself and your child in a very different way. And, it's completely okay. We all love our children, and yet we can have quite unconscious responses and responses to them, and expectations of them, that are based on our own patterns, that cause ruptures in relationships. And because of the unconscious nature of it, we've got to just start to notice, almost like witness, our own behavior and what's happening, our own responses as a starting point. And then, we can really go from there. So if this is something that you're struggling with, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. And, I'm more than happy to respond to you and offer my support with whatever situation you have with your children. Everyone has their own ice cream flavor of this, and their own set of experiences and things that are happening that are slightly different. And being able to, apply this rupture and repair approach to resolving some of these things and deepening your relationships, can be challenging as you start to lean into it, and there can be lots of moving parts, but ultimately it is something that you can do, and it is one of the most incredible and life-changing things that you can do for yourself and for your children and for your family as a whole. So I hope you found this useful, and perhaps sowing some seeds for you. And don't hesitate to reach out and share your experience, and I'd be more than happy to respond and provide you with whatever support you need.